morning paramotor trip. Woke up this morning at 4 a.m. to go fly the EFI across Florida. And yeah, this thing shows up to the party. Well, the winds were supposed to go north.
Yeah, we were supposed to have, you know, wind coming out of the beach, launch off the beach, catch a tailwind all the way to the East Coast for the most part, but it ain't working out like that.
On the road again. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are in Wauchula, and today we're gonna measure and weigh the EFI versus the Moster. And we're gonna fly for about an hour, probably to Lake Wales, right?
Yeah, EFI versus carb. They're both filled roughly about the same. Yeah, man, we're gonna go for it, see how much they chew up.
Stay tuned, we'll find out.
Hey, buddy.
The numbers are in, we've weighed it. It's kind of strange because these numbers are a lot bit closer than the Atom. Neil on the EFI, traveling an hour cross country, jumping up to 4,000 feet on 2 occasions. He had burned 6.4 pounds in an hour. Last time we did an hour flight, he burned 5. And me on a non-EFI Moster, same weight, same flight characteristics, I burned 7 pounds. So 6.4 versus 7 pounds. It's not that much.
It's not a big difference. No,
wow.
It's just surprising.
Super surprising. Did not see that coming. So that's about a liter, right?
Yeah, 1.2. Yeah, it's just a hair under a liter more.
Yeah,
you know,
1.2 pounds.
Same flight pattern between the two of them. So
fuel burn in liters per hour. We have the EFI for me. I was getting about 2.1 liters per hour, which is absolutely insane. Flying the carbureted Moster, I lost about 7.6 pounds or 4.6 liters an hour. It's blowing my mind to figure out all this data because what I did find is that I'm actually burning less fuel on a Moster. In contrast, the Atom I flew, I was burning about 5.6 liters per hour, whereas the Moster I was burning 4.6 liters an hour. And I didn't know this the whole time. I actually thought I was burning less fuel on the Atom just because it was a smaller motor. But because I'm so heavily loaded on a Spider 22 at about 185 pounds, just my body weight, I'm dogging this motor out. Vittorazi has such an amazing product in these lightweight aircraft motors. We're pitting these things together. We're saying, oh, the EFI is doing such a great job and the Atom and the Moster. But take all this into consideration that I thought I was burning less fuel on the Atom this whole time. I should probably be on a Moster. To get to the very bottom of this fuel burn question, I'm going to put all 3 motors on a simulator and run them for an hour at the same RPM. So first off, we're going to go with the EFI. We're going to get it to a certain RPM range, and we're going to mimic that RPM range throughout our tests with each motor. Just got off the motor sim, 1 hour running the EFI. Couple things. Just getting into the thing was arduous. It was very challenging to get my butt in the seat, and then we went to 5,500 RPMs. I was getting rocked all around. That was a little bizarre. But at 5,000 RPMs, we brought it back down a little bit. We tightened that ratchet strap up. We got it figured out. And then it was smooth sailing. But just like across country, you definitely want to bring some hydration because sitting on that thing for a while, I was getting a little thirsty. But once the RPMs smoothed out at 5,000, you barely even noticed that thing was there. Like Neil says, it doesn't have that shake and that shimmer just like the normal Moster would. We'll measure the weight of the next motor, which will be a Moster. We'll put it on there for 5,000 RPMs for an hour. And thank you to my good friend Mark, who's going to take over for this next hitch. We'll get a little bit of a briefing from him on how that experience went.
Sitting in any other Moster 185 for an hour, it's a little bit buzzy, a lot of vibrations, but I do believe that with EFI starting to come online now, it leaves a lot of room for improvement on things like in the future possibly finding out exactly where in the power band it's the most fuel efficient at, and then setting it to wherever that is on your throttle control so that you can get the maximum amount of flight out of whatever gas that you put in it. Possibly a barometer in the unit or something that can tell exactly what your altitude above sea level is also, so that if you have a certain altitude that you're trying to stay at and you want to maintain that altitude, it could constantly variate the RPMs to keep you in the zone you want to. So I'm pretty excited to see what comes out in the future with the new EFI. As for testing, we've got to find a way to get this thing up in the air more often, because an hour on the ground testing the motor out pretty much sucks.
All 3 motors have been tested. Final one was the Atom 80. Had the off-grid throttle, but it was right where the high-speed, low-speed jets were. It did not want to stay at 5,100 RPMs. As soon as it started going down, it would go all the way down to below 4,000 nearly. So that was weird, that it was a really pain in the neck to try to keep it at 5,100, 5,200 for an hour. And now interested to see what the weight is. I love the Atom 80. It's my personal motor. It's really easy to start, and the fuel burn and then the maintenance schedule is a little bit less grueling than the Moster. Now, things that I do miss is the power, obviously. So this Moster EFI has the power that I long for. I hope you guys have been enjoying this content. It's been a blast making it, and there's some really neat videos coming down the pipeline where we fly the EFI from one coast of Florida to the other coast, east coast to west coast Florida, 130 miles, and without a fuel stop. That's gonna be crazy. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the Aviator Show. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Reese, and we'll see you on the next one.
It's like the land of the lost out here. Yeah, if you got some brass to kind of cut through and bob through this, it would be fun, but like, this is ankle breaking, knee breaking, central. Like, look how crazy this stuff is. Oh my gosh.